Hi, this is Roger Reese, Park Ranger at Gulf State Park in Gulf Shores, Alabama. This video is to help you to better understand the difference between a cottonmouth snake and a broad-banded water snake. These two snakes are very commonly confused, and people frequently see the broad-banded water snake and say it's a cottonmouth. In fact, tonight this fellow was first accused of being a copperhead. So I explained to the person, well, we don't have copperheads on the island. He said, well, then it's a cottonmouth. I said, okay. And we had to dig around the brush some to find him. And when I saw him, I realized, nope, he's not a cottonmouth either. He is a broad-banded water snake. Isn't he a beauty? Now we're going to talk about some of the differences between these two snakes, because they look from the distance the same. They really do. There's a lot of similarities. But when you take a closer look, you're going to find that there's some very distinct differences between the two. Now, first thing I want you to take a look at here is the eye. You notice that on the broad-banded water snake, it has a round eye, while the eyeball on a cottonmouth and other venomous snakes that we have in Alabama are shaped more like a cat's eye. I believe the only exception to that's a coral snake. I think the coral snake does have a round eye. But the other venomous snakes we have more of a cat's eye look to it, with the points on both sides, and that just looking at the eye, they look much more vicious. Now, when I tell that to people, they generally say, I'm not going to get close enough to look at the eyeball. Well, that's okay, because there's another really easy way to tell the difference between the two of them. And that is going to be look at their chin. You don't have to put their chin up, just look at them from the side. You're going to see this fella has prison bars on his face. If he has prison bars on his face, he is safe to lock away for a while and set free, because he's a harmless banded water snake. If he has a dark horizontal line going back this direction, then you've got something to really be afraid of. Then what you have is going to be a cottonmouth. If he has a light horizontal line going underneath his eye right here, then you're going to have a copperhead. That's the easiest way to tell the difference between those three snakes. These lines here, you say, well, I don't want to get that close. You really don't have to get that close. They're very distinct, very easy to see. If you have that row of vertical lines going along the side of his face, he's a harmless fella. Now, he's not going to let you believe he's a harmless fella. He's going to strike at you. He may even chase you, but it's not likely. I've heard people tell me that they were chased by cottonmouth. I don't believe it. I've never seen a cottonmouth chase anybody. Now, these banded water snakes don't really have a lot of fear. They're very aggressive. They're much more aggressive than the cottonmouth is. They will strike at you. They're going to, this one here tried very hard to hide. He tried hard to get away from the people, but when I grabbed him with the tongs to pull him out of the brush, then as far as he was concerned, hey, it's fighting time. And he did move towards me, but he wasn't chasing me. He was just trying to get away. I was in the direction he was trying to go. So there was the illusion that he was attacking me, but he wasn't. I was just in the direction he was trying to go. He's not really that afraid of me. He did strike at me. He struck at my tongs, but in the end, it's all for show. Now, one more thing I want to point out here. Another common mistake people say is that triangular head. If I was to look at that head from the top, does that look like a triangular head or an arrow-shaped head? Absolutely. Just looking straight down on that fella, yep, that's evil. That's a bad snake. He is definitely a poisonous snake. He's not. He's just a really ticked off banded water snake. And when he gets ticked off, he's going to flatten his head out. See how flat his head is right there compared to the rest of his body? He took a head that was normally pretty round, flattened it out, and made that big arrow-shaped head to make himself look like a poisonous snake. He's a great impersonator. He tries real hard to make people believe he's a big bad boy, even though in the end he's totally harmless. He'll strike at you, he'll bite you if he can, but all he's going to do is leave some little small teeth holes, not any fangs, anything of that nature. It won't feel good, but in the end he's not going to hurt you. So if you find one of these in your yard, it's best to just let him live. He's probably going to be there chasing mice and rats and other things that you don't want to be in your yard either. If you just have to get rid of him, take and lay a garbage can down beside him, take your golf club and scoop him up and shake him off into the garbage can, and then you can haul him off someplace where there's some water, dump him in, and let him live on. Let him continue to do his part for Mother Nature in hoping to control the rodent population. One more little clarification. I did talk about this snake eating rodents and the like, but that's not all it eats. It also eats small fish. That's really going to be its primary diet. It may eat a lizard here and there, but it's not going to eat you. So there's nothing to be afraid of with him. Hope you found this video interesting and helpful, and I hope that you will learn that, just because he looks evil doesn't mean he is. He's a perfectly harmless snake that has a very important role in our society.